Welcome back to Arkansas Bigfoot, everybody. I'll tell you right from the start that we are not on our piece of ground. This area here belongs to an acquaintance of mine, and you deer hunters, everybody that deer hunts, each state's got their own different rules for seasons and things like that, but this weekend in particular was the youth weekend for the young kids to come out and deer hunt. Anyway, I'm not going to give too many details about my friend or the location, but they were out here this morning sitting in the ground blind, and he heard a couple of shots ring out. He said it sounded like maybe yeah, I see the eyes over there, Rachel. But he said it sounded like it was probably, I don't know, half a mile away. Well, anybody that deer hunts, whenever you hear shots, you kind of go on alert, because usually it will stir everything up and it might run something your direction. So they're sitting there and watching, and he said about 10 minutes goes by, and he thought what he saw at first was like a black bear hanging on the side of a large tree. And he watched it for a second, and it moved, and then he realized it was standing up on two legs. So he raised up his field glasses and got a good clear look. He said it was every bit 100% a Bigfoot. Said it appeared to be around 7.5 foot tall, dark charcoal, kind of dusty black.
Who's throwing?
Yeah.
They're throwing ones now.
There's stuff moving all around here now.
Alright.
So anyway, said the face was so human it was kind of freaking him out. He didn't say anything to his boy for a minute. And he's sitting there watching, and then he heard movement off to his left, and another one was approaching the first one. And they met up and walked on off the other direction into the woods. So he called me later on after they got back up to the house and told me what he had seen and kind of explained the layout of all of it. And this is a little road that kind of goes up the backside. And since I'm not real familiar with the property, I think we're just going to kind of walk up the lane and watch and listen, see if we hear anything, catch any eye shine. I wouldn't recommend this to most people going out into a strange area at dark for their first attempt, but, you know.
I've already reached out and gotten what I call permission. His name is Ra De Shah.
Ra De Shah.
Mm-hmm. And I believe it's a juvenile right behind us that just threw that little tiny piece of limb, and I don't believe it was intended to hurt, just to get our attention. And we heard one right in front of where you are now. Come on, baby, where you at?
And I can hear the dogs up at my friend's house sounding off. I don't know if they're doing that for something else they have going on up by the house, or if they're sensing and smelling what's going on out here. But all around this, I mean, he's got a few hundred acres here, but all around this they hunt quite a bit. So I would imagine that has got everything in the vicinity kind of stirred up and moving around. I imagine it'd probably also make them a little bit on edge. I can smell the skunk smell now, can you?
A little bit, yeah.
Alright.
I'm just listening back to make sure they know we're not here to hurt anybody or...
from here, the house is probably a good quarter of a mile.
Mm.
His house is probably a good quarter of a mile from where we're at.
Okay.
Man, that smell is strong.
Yeah, I think it's that. I think it's the young one actually, because it's all right.
Just watch your footing and keep your ears fine-tuned. There's a lot of rocks around here, lots of ammunition.
The guy said everything was okay.
You just hear that thunk back there?
Yeah. Fingers crossed my instincts are correct.
I just heard another something. I will make a confession. This kind of helps pump the adrenaline up just a little bit whenever it's a brand new strange place, because it's kind of like going to an amusement park for the first time. You don't know what you're going to get.
You just have to watch adrenaline, because fear and excitement in the body read the same way, so we don't need them sensing fear.
Something over there on
your monitor?
Yeah, something was kind of glowing. Getting into some really thick brush here, so
There's something or somebody behind us. Quietly.
I think this is that game trail he said they were up on. So if we follow this lane on up and around just a little bit, it should intersect again on the opposite side of that. That's what he was saying.
All right. Right here.
Yeah, it sounds like it's falling in behind us.
Mm-hmm.
When we walk, it walks. And when we stop, you'll hear 1, 2, and then they'll stop, like, you know.
Really hard to be quiet on these nights.
Yeah, it's a little crunchy. Tell you what, since we're not in our woods, I'm going to hit these bright lights on here just to illuminate the area a little bit better, because, you know, we're going to see what we see or not see, but...
Okay.
Smell it so strong.
Okay.
What was that?
I don't know. All kinds of little stuff, like little pine cones and stuff being
I keep hearing them behind us. We need to
go back
look
this way.
back that way a little bit.
I think it's a young one. I mean, I don't know how young is young, but it's just throwing little tiny, like, pine cones and stuff on up here. And probably find one that it just threw at me. They're not hurting.
Yeah, watch your step.
It's not rocks. It's just little, like these, see? Pine cones. Pretty sure if it was a rock, it hurt.
Yeah, as soon as we got started and saw the first bit of ice on, they looped around behind us. They've been pacing back in that. Well, he said he was going to be hunting tomorrow, so that kind of, makes that day out of the question. Imagine maybe we can try to get out here on a weekday, hopefully, and look around in the daylight.
Yeah. It doesn't feel aggressive. More curious.
I think wherever they were hanging out at, all the shootings got everybody stirred up and moving around. But that can also make them just a little irritable too,
Yeah, okay.
I would wager to bet.
Well, these wouldn't know us like that. I did kind of cheat and ask Anku to come hang out with us.
When we first got here, we sat in the truck for probably a good 20 minutes and got out and started up the trail and caught eye shine right off the bat. Heard them crunching in and walking in behind us about 30-40 yards back.
Sounds like a moan.
Yeah, that's like woo-hoo, something. I don't know what that was.
There's something over here that I like, you know? But they're just far enough out, probably 20.
This is where we first got the eye shine, right down in there. And this is where that smell is the strongest.
It is strong.
Alright, let's head on back to the truck and we'll see if we can't find a daylight hour to get out here and poke around.
Sounds good.
This is some really, really thick tangled stuff back in here. Alright guys, thought you might enjoy our first little probe into this, so we will catch you next time. Thanks.